the audio stayed on the thing. So, all right, we got this. Normally I can knock this out no problem. So I don't know why it's being silly today, but it's all good. So here we go. All right, let me try real quickly doing something just to be sure. But yeah, I think I was just okay. All right, guys. Sorry, I think that the one live was taken out. So this is live. We are going to talk a little bit about some of the solutions to the COVID-19 test problems. Michael here is part of Envy as well. So Michael, go ahead and say hi.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, so Michael's part of Envy and Sequoia, which is kind of the company that I'm connected with too. What I want to do is I want to show you a quick video of a news report, and we're going to look at some of the issues and some of the solutions that we have as far as coronavirus testing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this little video. All right. And this is going to work this time. All right, here we go.
All right, Morgan, thank you. In just 60 seconds, with the COVID crisis in the White House, our in-depth look at those rapid diagnostic tests, their accuracy, their limitations, and just how they should be used. In the search for solutions tonight, growing questions about the type of COVID rapid tests the White House uses as the outbreak at the highest levels of our government increases. Many are wondering how accurate these tests really are. Here's Stephanie Gosk.
At least 12, that's how many attendees at the White House Supreme Court ceremony have now tested positive for COVID. Among them, University of Notre Dame's president, who later described what happened that day. A medical professional took me to an exam room to obtain a nasal swab for a rapid COVID-19 test, he writes. We were notified that we had all tested negative and were told it was safe to remove our masks. Father John Jenkins was given the Abbott Rapid ID Now test. Results in minutes. It does not need to go to a lab. But in May, the FDA warned Abbott's test could return false negative results, especially in asymptomatic people, a risk with all rapid tests.
The test that you do right then and there does not detect down to the lower levels of virus that you have earlier in your disease.
Abbott says its Rapid ID Now test is 95% accurate within a week of symptoms. The White House did not return NBC News' request for comment. There are now 12 rapid tests authorized for use by the FDA. President announcing a new Abbott test just last week that only costs $5. Results in 15 minutes.
These new Abbott rapid point-of-care tests are easy to use.
The government is buying 150 million. Still, the FDA warns that a negative result does not rule out infection. So why bother with rapid testing?
It's not going to be perfect. It will miss some people. But the important thing is it will catch many people who are infectious at the time.
Sarah Poland runs a soup business in D.C.
How do you handle a negative result? I mean, does that mean everyone inside your workplace throws off their masks and says, we're good?
Oh my gosh, no. And I think we've learned from what's happened in the White House, a negative result does not mean you're in the clear.
Her employees have been getting PCR tests, which are sent off to labs and can take days.
It's a very expensive test that takes longer and longer to give results. Why not use a test that's cheaper and can be administered, I don't know, 3-4 times a week?
A test that is not foolproof, but still useful. possibly helping small businesses like hers safely stay open. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
And up next for us tonight, Facebook, disinformation, and hate.
Okay, so when you watch that video, they're talking about the Abbott test. The Abbott test was introduced about a month or about 2 months ago, probably. And this test is cheap, and it's a cheap quality. This test, if you read the fine print, the fine print is to collect data. That's the reality. So what's happening is people are being given tests that are low accuracy, even though it says 95%, it is not. You can look at the information that's coming from that, and it's more like probably like between 60 and 80% accurate. The price is very low, but the reason that was done is because if you look at the small print, the small print is saying that people will be giving certain information, which is more for other companies to buy that information. So what we're having here is we're having an issue with antigen tests that people are
associating.
They're associating with newer antigen tests, which is not correct. And that is not correct because those tests were just brought out. They're kind of like I like to say it, they're the beta tests. They're the tests that people came out with this idea of like, let's have an antigen test, but they're beta. They're being tested to see if they work. And
Right.
They're not. Now, what Sequoia has is an investment company that started way back in the beginning and said, we're going to find manufacturers. We are going to create tests from the beginning to the end. We're going to put quality before everything. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a test that is FDA approved, that is, tested in itself, so that, that the accuracy is real.
Right.
And when we say 98.9 for a 20-minute swab test, that's what they mean.
You know what, Andy?
Yeah.
Kind of feels though they rush their product to beat the market.
Well, think about this: if the government just bought 150 million of these kits, and they're selling them for $5, let's say they're making $2, $3, whatever they're making, the government's making, they're making a ton of money off of this. And that's what they're trying to do. But they're not trying to make a ton of money off the tests. They're taking a ton of money off of the data.
Right.
And that is the fine print. With this, with Innova, with Sequoia, with NV Cares, is you're not giving information like that. It's not a data mining kind of thing. It is a test. It is a test to prove that you have COVID or not. And so that's why this is an important thing for people to hear is all the antigen tests are being given a bad name because many of them were not FDA approved. When countries use them, they're not going through the FDA process. And so some countries are just creating tests, but they're only like 60% accurate.
Right.
That's not going to be helpful. This test, and this is what's so powerful about this test, is this is the only test that actually, they've gone through that process. They have the documentation, they have the information that can show you, how accurate these tests are and what kind of testing they've gone through.
I have done my research. You're right. This is the only test that's actually 98.9% accurate. And it's approved by the FDA and the EU in the EUA. So, once again, like I said, I feel as though most of these companies, they hey, let's make this quick money real fast. So what? The government to buy it up.
Yep. And so, now we're seeing the effect of what these Abbott tests have done. They have created some false kind of ideal, and people are using them thinking that they have, correct results, and it's not. It's just not. So that's what we wanted to get on real quickly to get on here and talk about. Michael sent me this clip this morning and said, "Hey, you got to check this out, man, because this is what's happening is when you talk to people, and let's say we're talking right now on live on Web Talk, and hopefully people are sharing this and getting this information out. People are going to watch us and say, well, we've heard about those antigen tests, we've heard about those swab tests. They're not good. Yeah, you're right. They aren't. That's a true statement. Those tests are not good. And so, these tests, test them out, try them out, see if they work. They do. See if they're accurate. They are. Compare them to your PCR tests. And what's beautiful about this is, what I think that people also kind of lose their reality with is, if I take a PCR test today and I don't get the results until, what is today, Wednesday? I don't get my results until maybe Monday.
It defeats the purpose.
It defeats the purpose, exactly, because the result is for today. So if I get that result on Monday and they say, hey, you're fine, well, that was for this day. What happened in between that test and the result? Now with the antigen tests that are 20 minutes, it's right now. So right now, before I leave the doctor's office, I know whether I have it or I don't.
So funny that you say that.
Yeah.
So the situation in the White House where the president is, contracted the coronavirus. Now they're doing contract tracing. So they just like you said, the 7 days. Now they have to go back and see who, because everybody has staff that he contacted. So you got to go back and trace from the president's staff to the staff of the president to their staff, their families, then whoever they was with. So pretty much you're seeing 300 or 400 people that may be affected with the coronavirus.
Right. Right. And the thing is what's going to happen is they're going to test all those people. Let's say they test all those people that came in contact.
Right.
They still have a 4-day or so waiting period before they know.
So this is why our tests, come to the point. This is why our 98.9 tests are legit, all right.
Yep.
So
because you could take all those people, test them right now, and they could all, let's say some test positive, some test negative. Okay, let's say all of them test negative, and you go, well, this can't be right. Okay, give them in a day or 2 or 3 days, do the same test, boom. And it's not going to be like that, especially with like this group of people. There's going to be the positive and the negatives. But see, the thing is the results are going to be in the moment. So now you can take all the staff, test them, 20 minutes later, this person has to go to quarantine, this person's good, this person goes to quarantine. Now, I agree with the statement that says, are you going to catch it in its earliest of stages with a test? No, not with any test, probably. Now the tests that we have are so close to being perfectly accurate that most of that is going to be found right away. But what you can do is you can take that same test in a day or 2 if you want, or at the end of the day for all that matters. But you take it, it's a swab. It's not shoving stuff down your nose. It's a swab. You take it 20 minutes later, So let's say some people are positive, some people are negative. Great. The positive people, they're going to quarantine. The negative people, you're going to wait maybe 2 or 3 days to give it that little bit of time that the guy was talking about, saying, well, in the early stages, you can't find it. Okay. So you give them a day or 2, or even the next day, you test them again, because all these people have been in contact with someone who was infected. So it might take a little bit of time, but now you're getting test results every 20 minutes instead of I test now. Let's say I test now, I get the results in 5 days or 4 days. Well, I have to wait for those results. What they should be doing is test, wait for and then the next day test, and then you're getting a result the next day after that, test, and a result on the next day after that. How do we change that? We change that to in 20 minutes, boom, here's the test. In a day or two, boom, here's the test, done. And we're going to catch this much faster in a more confined area. We're not going to have people waiting and wondering. Everybody right now, the White House staff, the people that are, I think most people are saying, now I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Right.
So they don't even know right now.
But the more important thing, they're not bringing the virus to nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
They are let's call it pre-quarantine. So they won't, nobody else can contract this virus.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So guys, I know that you can't see Michael because for some reason, yeah, he's talking on his phone, and he's got his video on a computer. So I'm seeing that now that I'm seeing that you can't see him, but
I'm sorry, guys.
okay. That's okay. That's not a problem. Michael Bowens actually is part of Web Talk, so you can. I'm going to actually tag you, Michael, in this so that people can message you if they have any more questions. But any last things that you would like to say, Michael? That any more information about the kits? We just want to get this information out. We want people to understand that there is a way to help stop the issues that we're having. And I'm not saying COVID. I'm saying the issues that we're having.
Right.
There are issues right now. People are saying, some people say, well, it's not real. Okay, it might not be real, but it's still shutting down your country.
Right.
You want to prove that it's not? Get these tests out, show that everybody is COVID free, and move on with your day.
Apparently, if the president has COVID, it has to be some type of real. So, you can't deny there is something.
Right.
So, well, I'm just for, we need to, stop being individuals, and we come together and start trying to beat COVID. And we got to come together. If you want any kind of type of normalcy, again, we got to come together and beat COVID. So I think that's my last words for today.
Okay. Yeah. And I completely agree with that, that the coming together part is the real part here. So guys, I know we've been on a couple other lives and we've talked about COVID, and people have many different opinions about it. But the real issue here is that whatever is happening in your country, the next level of testing is here. If you can talk to doctors, if you know people in the military, if you know people in government, local government, whatever, in your towns, your cities, your countries, your nations, whatever, talk to these people. Tell them that there is a test that is now at a 98.9% accuracy. It's 20 minutes long. You don't have to take it to the lab. Doctors are not waiting. Labs are not overrun with tests. It is in-house. A medical professional gives the test. 20 minutes later, if you have COVID or not. That is the bottom line here. People who are in countries that thrive on tourism, start talking to your hotels, asking them what they think that they can do, because there's so many different ways to create this. Airports.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Remember when we talked about how we was trying to figure out a way how to get people in the stands for the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And you know what? And the NFL, that's what they're starting to do. They're starting to let people in. Mm-hmm. They're trying to fix this situation, and stadiums are starting to let people in. Well, the testing, those people are probably using tests that either are not very accurate because they're the quick response, and they're not quite as accurate, or they're taking a PCR test and they took that test 3 days or 4 days before the game. Now, do you trust that if you get a result and you said, okay, I'm going to go to the game on Saturday, so I need to take my test on Monday so I can get my result on Friday. Well, then that whole week, who knows what's happened in that week? The 20-minute test, you can test before you walk into the stadium and know yes or no. There's just multiple things that people need to understand, that these tests are next level. These tests are FDA approved, EAU approved, or EUA approved. You know, everything is exactly what it should be. So if you guys have more information or more questions that you have or anything like that, comment in the comments below. If you see this on somebody else's news feed, you know, come to our news feeds, either Michael's or mine. I will tag him as well. Come to Michael's or mine, and look at the post and you know, click on it. Michael, I think what we'll do is we'll just have you copy the link for the YouTube channel and make a post on your own
Yes, I'll take care of that.
feed as well, and people can look at that as well. But guys, this is important. We will talk about this a little bit more. This is a game changer. You know, we have IEG, which is connected to, you know, 65 plus countries. How many countries want to be open? How many countries want to start, you know, being able to do what they're used to doing? This is the time to start talking and finding out more information about that. So if you do have more information, guys, feel free to ask myself or message on Michael's as well. You know, and look on Teacher Tim's newsfeed. We have more videos there that we've talked about. So if you guys have questions, please ask more questions. I'm actually going to look on the comments just in case. Okay, someone said shared. Let's see. If there happens to be anybody with any questions, we'll see. I know most people are not seeing this right now, but you might see it later.
Let's make it different, guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people are sharing it. People are, you know, having some comments on here. I don't think there's any pertinent comments.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. So if you have any questions, please ask, and then we're going to go ahead and end this particular live right now. So thanks for listening, and please, guys, please share this. I mean, this is important. This is a way to kind of change a lot, change what's happening in our world. So make sure to share this. I would greatly appreciate that. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy. Have a good one.